All right, we're recording now. On the phone, did it just tell you that we're recording? No? Okay. I'm muting, I think, Kelly's. Okay, I think it was Kelly's that had some background noise.
I hear my TV back.
Okay. Guys, welcome. Thank you those that could join us on the call. We are super stoked to see Jeffrey, like, awake and alert. Can't wait to see his skull. Sounds kind of weird, but I want to see his skull. And also to Marty, who is our newest coach, those that don't know Marty, and he just got back from Kuwait. So, like two men that I'm so excited to see. All right, so today we are specifically going to talk about groups. Melanie, did Carlin say she was popping on?
I just messaged her, okay. Nothing back yet. So.
Okay, no worries. All right, so Carlin, you're going to be watching this. This was a question you had, so hopefully we get everything answered. If you don't catch us live and we miss something that you wanted to know, let us know and we'll try to address it. So Carlin wanted to know a little bit more about the difference between free groups and paid groups and what all that means. And so I'm going to kind of give you a little rundown of like the world of Dawn and what Dawn thinks. Christine is still not muted, so she'll also pop in. But we kind of talked a little bit about this because some of it's just semantics and then some of it, there is a distinction. So when we talk about free groups, we're typically talking about those short 5 to 7 days tops. You know, where you're bringing somebody in for a very specific purpose. Maybe it's a clean eating 7 days or a water challenge, or Christine just did an awesome binge eating group, or maybe you do like a week of devotions. Whatever it is, it's super short, it's super focused, and very intentional. If you can make it work with your niche market, awesome. You don't want to be trying to do like 10,000 things at once, but try to make it super simple and specific and bring people in. Basically, what you want to do with those free groups is just expose yourself to new people. You want to be giving value to potential customers. So, you know, find a need that people have and look to fill it with something that you're comfortable with. Like I wouldn't be doing a group on so much cooking stuff because I'm not so comfortable with the cooking stuff. Now I can find resources and do it, but that's not a great niche for me right now. It wouldn't make sense for me to be doing a group for stuff with kids. That's a better example. You know, so I'm not going to be doing like exercise with kids. You know, getting your family involved. It's not a great market for me, but those of you with kids, that might be an awesome opportunity to say like, hey, let's get fit with the family for the week or whatever. We recommend that when you use free groups, you do them through the Challenge Tracker app. Now, people are super comfortable with Facebook, but there's a few reasons that those groups in particular are awesome in the app. One, in order to be in the app, they have to have a free Beachbody account. So when you invite them to that app, they're going to automatically be assigned to you if they don't already have a coach. It's also a way that you can figure out if they already have a coach, because if they end up in the app and not in your customer list, then you know they already have a coach somehow and you can have that discussion with them after. This also, in those free groups, you're not just giving value to these participants in the way of your, you know, whatever your message is, if it's clean eating, if it's an exercise group, if it's a spiritual group, you're also giving them a glimpse into you and what you have to offer. Because people can buy a program from anybody. People can you can get programs at Walmart. You can get them on YouTube. But when ultimately the aim of these free groups is eventually to turn these prospects into customers and join your regular challenge group. And so in that, you're giving them this value, but you're also giving them a glimpse into who you are. So important with those groups, guys, is to show up every single day, especially in those free groups. You want to be all over them. You're almost going to be putting more work into those groups than your regular challenge groups. You're going to make sure that you're talking to people before they're in so they know what to expect. You want to be checking in with them along the way so they don't check out. And then your follow-up with them after is so integral to getting them excited and motivated for the next thing you have to come. You know, find out how it went. What did they like? What didn't they like? Are they interested in more of that? So that's kind of free groups. Christine, did you have anything to add?
No, you nailed it. you said all the super important stuff. The only quick thing is it's really easy to get scared to do a free group because it is a lot of work. But the upside of doing a free group in the app is that you can reuse it later. Exactly. And number two, there are tons of free groups out there where you can take material from other coaches. And maybe it isn't a niche market group. Maybe you are just doing a crock pot group. I know we always say that and joke about it because that's what everybody does. But you still get to drip and be yourself in the group. You still get to show them who you are. So even if you're doing a group that's not niche market related, you can still generate good leads by showing who you are to that group. That's the idea.
Yep, absolutely perfect.
That's it.
Now, the next kind of group that Christine and I didn't really specifically talk about that I wanted to go into a little bit more, and this one makes a lot more sense to be in with your niche. And Christine's totally right. Within that free group, you can recycle a lot of stuff because, again, ultimately you want to be introducing them to the idea of a group, the idea of that accountability and that checking in, and then the idea of you. Again, the other reason the challenge tracker is so great, Christine hit the nail on the head. You can reuse it. Within the challenge tracker, you can copy and paste from one group to another. They set up that feature a little while back, which makes it easier. So you put in all the effort up front with your content. You don't have to recreate your content. You just have to be checking in and doing the follow-ups. Now, with an ongoing group, I don't use one of these currently. And as far as I know, Christine doesn't, but she may be doing these and I'm not aware. But these are kind of like almost just a regular group page. It's not necessarily Beachbody specific. Like Taryn right now it's called like Mom Strong Community. And in there, she's giving value specific to like moms and confidence. And I haven't been in there, but my guess is she's sharing a lot of the breastfeeding information. She's sharing a lot of, tips and tricks. And they're probably talking about, when her kids were potty training and what all that was like. So she's got just this big group. It's not Beachbody specific, but it's a group of people like-minded where she's sharing information. Another great one that I see going on right now actually is Jen LaPola. So if Jen sees this, a super shout out to her. Her specific group right now is called Sweating for the Wedding. And it's not specific to Beachbody, but it's a bunch of people that are getting ready to either get married themselves or they're going to be in a wedding. And so they want to get a little bit healthier. And the kinds of stuff she's sharing the workouts she's doing. She's offering to kind of help direct and guide people in the right direction towards workouts, but it's nothing specific. They're not necessarily checking in like a challenge group, but she's posting wedding specific stuff and things that people would be interested in when it comes to a wedding. And that's a great opportunity just to bring people into a community. And then as people are talking about the different workouts they're doing or the different food they're eating, she's able to slowly have conversations that come about naturally. Like I said, I'm not currently running something like that. That's something that, is an ongoing where people just add themselves. There's a bunch of ways you can do it, but it's not a bad idea as a way to just bring new people that you have an opportunity to reach out to. Again, like I said, I personally don't have one of those going on right now, but it might be something that I look to explore later. Christine, do you have any thoughts on those, that ongoing business?
I had one at one point. Actually, it was called Healthy Living in an Unhealthy World, and it was awesome. And I just got burnt out at one point, and I let it die. It's funny Dawn mentioned that because I've considered revisiting it and building it back up because what was cool is exactly what Dawn said. It allows you to reach people that aren't sure about Beachbody, that maybe might even doing their own health and fitness thing, but you can still get in touch with them without having to invite them to anything you're doing. They're just there. So it's kind of a no pressure way to give value to people.
Right. And it's a way that when you do have something coming up, it's not such an out of the blue type invitation process, and you can slowly insert it in, hey guys, if you're interested in this next thing I have coming up, here's what it is, but it's not a pressure way. The other cool part is if it's something that you give a crap about, it's not just a group for other people, it's a group for you. Like Taryn has a Mom Strong community. She's gaining from that. That's not just her giving and pouring out into everybody. She's going to get poured into in that. Jen's going to gain from the people in her Sweating for the Wedding group. She's going to learn different stuff about, going through this wedding process. They're going to be sharing. So if you have something, Christine, that's like a brilliant group. I don't know why you've never told me about it, but whatever. Not going to take it.
Because I let it die, like everything else. I just let it die. So.
Well, now that I know about it, it's going to live on forever.
Well,
or be recreated. But anyway, so that's just something to think about. And Kelly, I know I had you muted. Let me, because let's see. Kelly, can you still hearing us? I'm sorry I had you muted. There was background noise before.
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
We're going to talk a little bit more after, but that is a good way to start bringing in new people that you'll have as potential contacts later. The next thing that we really want to talk about and differentiate is people call them paid groups. Christine and we call them challenge groups. Now, when people are referring to paid groups and challenge groups, it's when typically, and again, anything that we say, you guys do what works for you and what makes sense for you. There are some coaches out there that will say a paid group means in order to be in it, you have to purchase a challenge pack. You have to be drinking Shakeology and doing a program. That's not how I operate. That's not how Christine operates. I don't know anybody on our team that operates that way. There's not anything wrong with it necessarily, but there's pluses and minuses to all those things. A couple of the things you want to consider if you want to go that route is, are you going to have enough people to run a group? Are you going to sell enough challenge packs that you can fill a group? The next thing you want to think about is you still have to provide support to your other customers, whether they order a challenge pack or not. You're their coach. So what are you going to do with those people? Are you going to have a separate group? That's kind of for me where I was like, well, no, this is a no-brainer. I've got to support all my customers. They're going in the same place. That's a lot of work if they don't. Think about, how you were personally pulled into Beachbody. A lot of coaches on our team were not in their first challenge group with a challenge pack. The top coach in all of Beachbody the last 3 years in a row, her first challenge group that she was a participant in, she borrowed her first program and wasn't drinking Shakeology. So we want to be mindful as we're inviting people in. Now, does it mean that you can't have some requirements for that group? Absolutely not. You can absolutely require what it is you want of people. I prefer my people to minimally be drinking Shakeology or doing a Beachbody program. And part of that is just for the integrity of what you're doing. If you are just wanting to because we do have coaches that run phenomenal groups on our team that will let anybody in. You can do any program you want. You don't have to do Shakeology, and that's fine if that's how you want to run it. But you also want to make sure that you maintain the integrity of a group, because when you have a group like that, it can be infiltrated by people that are selling other stuff or people that are using other stuff that they genuinely like, but they like it, so they start sharing about it. So you just want to be very mindful and be very aware of that. When you're looking at what a challenge group or a paid group, however you want to refer to it, they're going to be longer. I would say minimally 21 days. The 21 to 31 days works really well. But they could be the length of a full program. If you're doing a 60-day program and you want to do a group for 60 days, you can do that. That's fine, but just kind of be mindful of how often are you going to run that? How many people do you have? Will they burn out after that amount of time? Christine and I have really fallen into this 28 to 31 days. When I say 31, we sometimes do 3 prep days and then 4 straight weeks of the group. For us, it works out really well because then you do one each month. One ends, another begins. And so we always have one going. And we'll move people. They'll finish the one group. We move them right into the next, and they continue and they transition and they can move on. But you do want to think about some of those things. It's okay to do a group where you're doing a single program together. There's pluses and minuses to all of those. You just have to weigh what works for you. What I love about doing the multi-program groups is when you have people in those groups, as they finish one program, they have a crap ton of other people to look at and ask questions about what programs they like, what didn't they like, why did they like it. So you don't have to be selling the next program. They're going to be getting information from other people in the group. It's also awesome when you have some people that only purchased a program and not Shakeology. Because guess what? When you're in the Challenge Tracker app, people are posting their Shakeology. And you don't have to work as hard to explain and share the benefits, because when you've got people that are watching all these other coaches and all these other participants logging this shake stuff every day, and all of a sudden they see those people are getting better results than they are, they're going to start asking questions about the Shakeology. So it makes that conversation a lot easier. And you allow the group to run itself a little bit more. Also great with the challenge tracker. I recommend you do it in there. Again, you don't have to. It's how you want to do you. But the challenge tracker is great because you can schedule posts without having to use a third-party tool like Hootsuite or Post Planner or any of those. So that's super, super helpful. Sorry, I'm walking around the house finding dogs because they knock on the door, in case you didn't know. Christine, any thoughts on what I missed? Did I miss?
All I would say, I mean, everything you said is spot on. So here's the intention. A free group, your intention is to generate leads. You're going to find new contacts and potential customers with a free group. For me, with my challenge group, that's where I put people that I've already built trust with, whether they've decided to order a challenge pack or just a program, or they just want to get started and see what my group looks like, so I let them be a fly on the wall. But that's kind of the difference. The challenge group is my support group for those people who I really think want to work with me or already are. My free group is my way of generating new customers, of getting new people to invest in themselves and me. That's like the simplest way I can put it for you.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. I love it.
All I have.
And I went into a lot of detail because I don't know who out there is looking for what for each group. So if you're specifically out there watching this video later, and you want, to brainstorm or talk more about specifics, let us know. Let us help you brainstorm. Let us help you figure out what's a good way to go. Christine already has a possible, ongoing community that she wants to develop. I have no idea what I want to do in an ongoing community, but my brain started this morning on it. So if you need to brainstorm any of that, let us know. I really quickly want to touch, before I move on, does anybody have questions about group stuff? No? I know Melanie runs them like a rock star. Heather and Marty are going to be another dynamic duo soon. The next thing, Kelly had asked about adding new contacts. Kelly, was there something specific with adding new contacts before we hit on that you wanted to know?
I think my issue is just being able to find those people that aren't already friends with the Beachbody coach.
Okay. First thing. Now, is that when you're doing like your power hour and we say find friends that don't have a Beachbody coach?
Yeah.
Okay. First thing about that, I ignore that. Not the finding friends part, but I don't care if somebody's friends with another Beachbody coach, because let me tell you what, the majority of my most recent coaches and challenge pack sales are people who have a ton of Beachbody coach friends. And as long as you consistently show up and people see what you're doing, I mean, I've had people reach out to me specifically and say, hey there, Tanya. I've had people reach out to me specifically asking me questions, and then they say, well, I've got a lot of friends that are Beachbody coaches, but you're the only one that seems to be doing anything. Or right. You're the only one that I've seen results over time. So for me, I would be less worried about adding people that are friends with Beachbody coaches. So don't stress about that. As far as finding people, guys, you can find coaches, you can find people all over the place. I wish I could say that I do a really good job at it, but I don't. I started going to friends of friends, and I looked through, and if there was somebody that was on a friends of a friends list that I recognized the name, I'll look to add them. I started looking to groups that I used to be a part of through college or through high school. And I would start going through those lists. Fortunately, I'm in a military community, so you end up finding people that know people all the time. And I'll go through and I'll say, oh, I recognize that name. I knew them somewhere, or our paths may have crossed, and I add them. The key to all of this adding of these friends, the step that many of us miss, is we add people to our friends list, they accept our friends request, and then we do nothing about it. And then when it comes time to like talk to them or invite them to something, we missed the opportunity because now we made it weird by not immediately not reaching out to offer Beachbody, but like I recently added somebody and I shot her a message and I was like, hey, you know, she was somebody I knew in the past. And I was like, I saw your face pop up on so-and-so's page. I don't know how we weren't Facebook friends. You know, how are you? You know, it was somebody that I actually knew. So that was an easier conversation. Other people, I recently went in, I saw we had a mutual friend. I started liking a couple of their pictures. They liked some stuff back. And then you make natural conversation out of it. You don't jump in and say, hey, I have a group coming up. I saw you on Facebook and, you know, we had a mutual friend. You should be in it. I'm going to send you an invite. You know, don't make it weird. Makes it weird. Yeah.
When I get to where I'm going, I will share the Jennifer Wooten thing that you shared with me with everyone. But here's it's all about tracking, Kelly. And it doesn't matter where you can meet someone on the street. If you get their name, you are now tracking that person. Not in like a weird way, but if someone likes a post on your page, you write their name down, you add them, and you start talking to them. You start liking their stuff on Facebook, you start commenting them, and you start getting in their brain. And there's a tracking process, and Jennifer Wooten shares it, 7 steps and it's that whole jab thing. You start jabbing with likes on their posts, comments on their stuff, messaging them, seeing how they're doing, going into the form process. And then when you found that they have a problem and you have a Beachbody answer, that's when you invite them. It doesn't have to be super complicated at all, ever. And it doesn't have to be icky or yucky if you're going in with good intentions. As long as you're not trying to sell them something they don't need, that's when it's icky. If you're trying to help them with the problem they have, it's not icky. So we'll share that 7-step process because I know it's helped me just with keeping track of who I'm talking to and who I'm meeting and who I don't need to talk to. Like who told me to go F off? Not that anyone ever has, but you know. So we'll share that because I think that's probably one of the things that's helped me the most as far as new customers and new contacts and new leads.
Perfect.
That's all I have.
Any other questions or thoughts? Kelly, did that kind of answer or not?
It did, because that's my hang up is always that like Beachbody coach thing. Because I mean, for one thing, you don't always know. And like you said, their coach, they might have coach friends that aren't reaching out to them. Or like in my case, when Christine started talking to me about joining her challenge group and getting a program, I was already working with a coach, but my coach wasn't doing any challenge groups.
Right.
And I really wanted a challenge group. So I switched coaches.
Right.
Well, that's such a good lesson for everybody on this call and everybody who's watching. Every single month, you need to have a challenge group for your people. And it's never my intention to take a customer from someone. That should never be your intention, but it is our intention to help people. And if someone's not getting help, it's our job to help them. And if they want to switch to us, that's their prerogative. Period. End of discussion.
Exactly. I mean, my one of our recent coaches, and she's going to start getting really active here soon. I met her at a PIO certification, and you go to a PIO certification, and there were half Beachbody coaches and half not Beachbody coaches. You know, that are just people that are looking to instruct live. And she asked me what a Beachbody coach was. Chick had a ton of friends that were Beachbody coaches, but she didn't know because the ones that she did know were pushy and obnoxious and didn't explain anything to her. They just said, you need to buy this shake and sign up and be on my team. You know, they were icky, they were weird, they were pushy, they were, you know, doing all those things that we don't like. And so she started following me because we became friends at PIO, and she saw I was doing Core de Force and was like, oh, I want to do that. And so she reached out, and I was like, oh, well, you have friends. I'll tell you all about it, but I'll give you this link. You know, ask them for their number. Here's the information. Ask them for their coach ID. And, you know, you can join with them. She's like, no, they're not doing anything. They didn't explain any of this to me. I want to work with you. And I was like, word, let's do this thing. So it's, you know, don't disregard people because you believe they already have a coach or you see that they have Beachbody friends. That's absurd. But I know the wording on that one post during the power hour says find non-Beachbody people. Hey, Carlin, we extensively covered groups, which was your question. So I'm going to want you to go back and watch, but if you have more specific questions after like all of that, let us know.
Okay. Yeah. Took me a long time to get logged in. My internet was being stupid.
Oh, sorry. What other
Hi,
questions?
Cowabunga, Carl. Congratulations on your coach.
Thanks.
Did you just get another new coach? Did I miss it? The hell? Like, the hell? I missed it.
He's not going to be
Well, you're cutting out, and I
a
don't.
month or so.
Oh, Melanie, is this the one you just told me about? I lied. I knew all about it. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Well, thank Dawn, because she did most of the work.
Who did the work?
I was asking Dawn questions to give Carla, or to give Kate questions so she could be Carlin's coach.
The best is
It was a team effort.
Melanie asks a question, and then she says, I should probably just Google it, huh? I'm like, you know somebody is trained well when that's their next response. Do you want me to just Google it, or are you going to answer it for me? And then I was like, actually, I'm going to Google it because I need that answer. But anyway, so any other questions about challenge groups or adding new people or anything in general? Doesn't have to be about that at all, because we've got a nice little crew on here. Nothing?
Jeff, hasn't he?
Jeff, do you have questions? None. For real, we got nothing. Okay, so next thing that you need to know about, Taryn is having another coach sneak peek on Monday night. So I don't know if you guys have folks that are looking to possibly join as coaches. But that's something that she has Monday night. It is 6:30 Mountain, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Something that Christine and I are starting to throw around and toy with is the idea of possibly doing some of our own, if that's something that you guys are interested in. We're starting to have enough of a team here and enough people. You know, it would be worth, if you're bringing your people in, you want them to see what you have to say and what your more intimate group has to say. So it's something that we've been kicking around, but let us know what you think about that. I like the idea of doing a call like that as a Zoom, personally, you know, because it's a little bit more personal. But I also know that some coaches are like, I don't want to do that. But if they know it's only going to be a couple people, so things to start thinking about, kicking around. Let us know what you think about that, because we would love to get this team to grow and do some really cool stuff. Melanie's nodding. Melanie likes anything we say right now, Christine.
Yeah. I'm usually down with whatever. Whatever you guys are like, yeah, this is a good idea. I'm like,
we don't know if it's a good idea yet. We're just
good idea. Let's do it.
Kicking it around. Any other questions or anything else that you want to add, Christine?
Just do it.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. I thought I lost you. I had a heart attack.
No, I'm good. I just want to thank you for hosting it, and I want to thank everybody for being here. And I'm sad I can't see your faces, but I just get excited. I get excited that we have a team to make team calls. Because, you know, I just remember it when it was Dawn and I, and it was and it was just Dawn and Melanie and I, and then it was just Dawn and Kat. So it's cool. It's cool. It's growing. I'm happy you guys are here. And if you just follow the 4 vital behaviors, all will be well. That's all I have to say.
Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to end this recording in a second. This call will be posted on the page when my internet allows it, and I'll also add that 7-step funnel that Christine was talking about to our files. We also do have a team YouTube channel now that I'm in the process of updating, but every team call is going on there. So it'll be an easier place to find past calls. If you guys, does anybody know offhand anything that they want to talk about next week? It's okay if you don't this minute, but please let us know if there's something in particular you want to know. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have an awesome, awesome, awesome weekend. We will be here same time, same bat channel next week, right? There's nothing. Yep. My calendar's got nothing forever. We're good. All right, Christine, drive safe. Jeff, get well. Marty, get well. Everybody, have an awesome day.
Bye, guys. Thanks. Talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.